everyone, it's Samantha, and today's video is actually a video request, and I loved this idea. I've been meaning to do this. I have a list of things. I've been thinking about this video a lot. This video is new mom expectation versus reality. And it's just going to be a quick sit down video where I talk to you guys about what I expected motherhood to be like and what it was really like. So the first thing that I didn't see coming, it totally hit me like a ton of bricks, was the amount of holding and the amount of breastfeeding you have to do in those first couple of months, even like right off the bat. I thought, babies ate every 2 to 4 hours and then they would sleep the rest of the time. It would be only breastfeeding every 2 to 4 hours or so. Well, that was not the case. In the beginning, babies eat like every hour sometimes, and it felt like she would eat every hour and it would take 40 minutes, and then she'd have 20 minutes where she'd kind of sit there and not be hungry, and then she'd be back at it very soon after that. So it felt like I was always holding her. She was always connected to my boobs. I don't even know why I wore a shirt or anything, especially for that first month. It was just, the baby was always connected, and I'm so glad now that I stuck with it and that we got through those first couple of weeks that were the hardest weeks, because our breastfeeding's going great now. She's 7 months old, but in the beginning it is so hard and it's so draining, and you're like allergic to touch. You're holding your baby all of the time and it's wonderful and great, but at the same time, like, you need a break. You need a break from holding the baby. You need a break. Your boobs need a break. So that was a big, huge one for me, is the amount of breastfeeding effort that it took. And I totally understand why people go to formula. It is so hard, even if you don't have problems. It's really demanding on your body to breastfeed. So that's something I didn't expect. I thought breastfeeding was just going to be like, oh, you pop out your boob and everything's great. I didn't think it involved nearly as much as it involved, but it's definitely not super duper easy. It gets easier, but in the beginning it is a lot of work. So that was a big one. And one thing, I've worked at a daycare, I've been a nanny, I understand babies cry, I understand kids cry, and I've listened to plenty of kids cry over the years. I expected crying, but what I didn't expect, the reality of it was painful listening to my own baby cry. It was like, it inflicts pain on me listening to her cry. And even now, I'm still not used to listening to her cry. When she cries, it just really ramps up something inside me. I'm sure it's hormonal or adrenaline or something, where I just get on edge as soon as she starts crying. And my husband says I turn into like Mama Bear. When she starts crying, I get on edge, I get really agitated, I try to do anything to stop the crying. It really messes with you, and I did not expect that at all, because like I said, I've heard plenty of babies cry. Before we had Olivia, I expected motherhood to be an important part of my life, but I still expected to be mostly myself. I expected to do the same things I always did before. I expected to get myself in some sort of routine with her where I was still myself. And the reality of the situation is motherhood can be all-consuming. I feel like I am a mom and that is it, and it's hard to still kind of find myself. I still struggle with that sometimes. I feel like a lot of the times I'm losing my identity and I'm just becoming mom. So that's something I really catch myself struggling with, is not getting totally consumed by being her mom. I still want to be myself as well. Another new mom expectation was, when they're tired, they sleep. That's easy, when they're tired, they take a nap. When they need to go to bed at night, they go to sleep. And the reality of the situation is, sleep is super duper complicated for a baby, and anybody who said they sleep like a baby has never been around babies, because they wake up all the freaking time. It is hard to get them to go to sleep. It is hard to get them to stay asleep sometimes. And my baby actually is mostly a really good sleeper, so I can't really complain much, because compared to other babies her age, she sleeps really, really well. But it's still a challenge, it still takes a routine, it still takes steps to get her to go to sleep, and it's still sometimes you just can't get her to sleep. So that's the real reality, is sleep is not easy when you have a baby. When I was going to be a new mom, my expectation was she would take naps and it would just be, my free time to do whatever I wanted. It wasn't necessarily a positive or negative experience of having alone time, having a break from her, but the reality of the situation is I look forward to naps sometimes so much, where I'm just like counting down the minutes sometimes. I'm looking forward to that nap. And at the same time, as soon as she goes down for a nap, I miss her terribly. It's like simultaneously missing her and looking forward to my break from her at the same time. And I don't know how else to explain it. If I'm going out with some friends and she's staying with her daddy, I will look forward to having my own time away from her and feeling like this sense of freedom. And then as soon as I'm away from her, I miss her and I sometimes almost cry. Like it gets really pathetic where I'm like, my baby's not with me. But it really is one of these simultaneous things where you can't stand to be away from her, but you also want to be away from her. It's so weird. It's definitely something I did not expect. So another new mom expectation I had was that my baby would have the softest, cutest, most beautiful, flawless skin. And the reality of the situation is babies peel, their skin peels, they get red spots, they get eczema, they get rashes, they get dry patches, they get cradle cap, which is like patches of weird stuff on their head. And some of them also get baby acne. At about 3 weeks old, she got the worst baby acne. She just looked like a little teenager, all broken out in this baby acne. And I just did not expect that. I mean, I heard of some of these things when I was reading the baby books, but I did not expect it to be like full-blown skin attack going on. But it is definitely, the reality is baby skin is anything but flawless a lot of the time. And this one was such a like naive thing, but my new mom expectation was they would have a cute little umbilical stump and one day it would just fall off and it would look so cute. And you know, I've heard of people keeping them, but the reality of the situation is that thing turned black and it was nasty looking and it was just really gross. And it did not just, you know, fall off one day like poof, it's off. It was like stuck on there for quite a while. And it looked like it was barely hanging on by a teeny flap of skin for so long. And it did get nasty, and thankfully it didn't get infected or smell or anything, but that can happen too. So the reality is that thing is nasty. There's no way I would want to keep that thing. Like I said before, I've worked at a daycare, I've had lots of kids. You know, it's just something you do, not good, not bad. So I just expected that to be another one of like the baby chores, as you feed your baby purees or baby-led weaning or whatever. But the reality is I really enjoy feeding her. It's a really good bonding experience for both of us. She loves it and she's so happy during it, and it is a fun experience. So that is something I totally didn't expect. I expected it just to be just another thing you do in life, but it is a really fun thing. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys liked it. Now I want to hear from you guys. What is your best new mom expectation versus reality? It can be sweet, it can be sad, it can be funny. I feel like I got a good mix of different things in this video, but I'd love to hear what your guys's are. I just thought that was such a fun video request, so I wanted to do this video for you guys. And if you have other video requests, be sure to let me know on the monthly wrap-up video that I do. I do listen to you guys, I do take video requests, so I'd love to hear what videos you guys want to see. And that is it, so leave me your best expectation versus reality in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Bye!